Welcome back everyone to part 4 of this video series as we continue to make great progress in completing this project. Remember to like, comment, share and subscribe to benefit from this full Canva invitation tutorial. For this video, we will be focusing on the last 2 objectives that we started in the previous tutorial. I'll start off by asking you a simple question that has been covered in the previous videos. How do you get to Canva? Let me know in the comments below and I'll tell you if you are correct. For this tutorial, I will be adding the remaining text to this invitation. I will start off by moving the centerpiece, Cheers to 80 years, a little further above so that there is space below for the text. I'll do so by holding on to Shift on the keyboard and I will click each text box, as you can see that I'm doing here, to select the centerpiece. Once I have done so, I can use the Up key on the keyboard to move the centerpiece upwards. I will select the group option in order to group the 3 text boxes together. In doing so, once I click anywhere on this centerpiece, I am able to move the 3 elements together. Let's proceed. The next thing that I will do is I will add a text box with the text, "You are invited to celebrate." That will be typed in this text box here, and I will make some adjustments to the font. The first thing that I will do is to change the font style. Instead of this bright font style that was used for the Cheers to, we're going to search for a different font style that is able to again display uppercase letters beautifully. We can always do so by clicking on the arrow beside the current font style and scrolling through to identify the desired font style. In my case, I have a number of font styles that I work with, and so for this one I know that I want to use Oswald. So I will type in this search bar for the font, which is Oswald, and once I have found it, I will go ahead and select. The next thing that I will do is to change the color of the font to white by again selecting the text box and selecting that A with the colors beneath. Once I have changed the font color to white, the final thing that I will do with this font is to increase the font size, and as you can see, it has been increased to a size 17. I will proceed to adding the next set of text, which in this case will be for the date and time. For the date and time, again, I will select Add a text box and I will type the text needed. As we can see, in adding this text box, the style has reverted to the bright font. Of course, I will change that to Oswald. In changing that, I will go ahead and type Sunday, which is the date on the invitation. I will increase the font size to about 20 and I will change the font color to white. Once I have done this, I will move the text box over to the left and then I will proceed to adding the other text. To prevent me from having to change the color each time and the font style, I will just select Duplicate so that I am duplicating the font style, font color, font size. With that, I will now type July, which is the month, and I will make this text bold because I want it to be dominant on the invitation, and I will also increase the size of the font to match the width of this word Sunday. So I will press the plus sign until I get to that desired size where I believe it has matched the width of Sunday. Once I'm satisfied with that, I will proceed to duplicating this Sunday text box to include the day and year. Once I have done that, I will drag the text box in position below July and change the text within the text box to the date specified on the invitation. Once I have done that, I will again want to decrease the size of this font so that the width of these dates remain consistent. I will select and use that subtraction sign to decrease the font to a desired size. I will now duplicate this text box with July in order to type the name of the location. In this case, the name of the location is The Lounge, so it will be entered here, and the intention is for this location to be dominant on the invitation. I want it to be easily seen, so I'm going to leave it at a font size of 30, and I'm just going to align this with the date on the opposite side of the invitation. Following this, I will duplicate the text box for the "You are invited to celebrate" in order to enter the address of the venue. I just want to state here that I decide which text box to duplicate based on the current properties of the text in the text box. So if I'm looking for a large text, then I will use the text box that has either July or The Lounge, and I'll duplicate that. If I am intending to type text of a smaller font size, then I will go ahead and duplicate one of the text boxes with that. Okay, so let us proceed. Now that I have the address here, I want to note that the address is currently longer, the length of it is longer than the actual dates on the opposite side. So what I have done here is to reduce the font size just a little bit, and then I will also decrease the line spacing. And to do this, I will select the text box and then that icon with the 3 lines and the arrows beside it. Where there is line spacing, currently it's at a 1.4, I'm going to go ahead and change it to 1, just for you to be able to note the difference that takes place. If you note, you'll realize that the 2 lines would have been closer together. I have settled at a 1.2 line spacing, and I will leave it at that. The second thing I will do is to remove this uppercase that is assigned to the text, just so that we are able to see both uppercase and lowercase letters. And finally, I will increase this font size to a 16 again. We just want to be consistent with the height of the text. Finally, to add the RSVP information at the bottom of this invitation, I will duplicate the text box with the address and proceed to type that information. As you can see here, the text is currently running over to 2 lines, so what I will do is decrease the font size within this text box so that all of this information is able to fit on 1 line. I will proceed to adding the time of this celebration, and that is by duplicating the text box with July, because I want this information to be bold. I'm going to go ahead and type the time, which is 6 p.m. And what I'm going to do with this text is to rotate it 90 degrees so that it stands vertically at an angle of 90 degrees. With that, I will reduce the size of the time, and I will also change the color of the font with this information again. I am sizing it up just to remain consistent with the height of the text that is already there for the date. To change the color of the text, select the text box and then that icon A with the colors beneath it. As you can see here, we're selecting a color from the project, and I'm selecting one of the lighter yellow colors. And just like that, we have our information in place. The final thing that I will do in this video is to hold down on Shift, select the text boxes and group the address. And I'm also going to hold down on Shift, select the text boxes for the date and the time, and I will group those together as well. With this, I am able to move the grouped text boxes freely with just one click. That takes us to the end of this tutorial. If you have learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Megabytes in Tech for more design tips and tutorials. Stay tuned for the next video as we wrap up this series. Look out for Canva Pro giveaways soon.